Now, the President of the Royal College of Psychiatrists is calling on the UK government to address the silent mental health pandemic affecting people across England. Dr. Lade Smith said people are unable to get the help they need when they need it, leaving them to suffer from depression, post-traumatic stress disorder and other severe mental illnesses, which affects their life chances. Dr. Smith said over 4 million people were in contact with mental health services in England over 2024 to 2025, and that is a 56% increase compared with 2016 to 17, where 2.6 million people were in contact. Well, today, the Prince of Wales said more male role models are needed to normalise talking about mental health. Speaking on a special episode of Radio 1's Life Hacks, Prince William urged people to learn to love themselves and said that talking about mental health should be second nature to all of us.
Part of feeling comfortable talking about mental health is understanding it. And if you've got guys who have really gone about trying to really learn about what feelings are, why we feel like we do, what can we do about it, that's part of the conversation too. We need more male role models out there kind of talking about it and normalising it so that it becomes something that is second nature to all of us. And everyone's talked about their toolkit, and I'm the same. Having a toolbox, we can't, when we're born and when we grow up and through life, you're sort of, depending by circumstance, family, upbringing, whatever it might be, you have a certain toolbox next to you, but no one has all the tools in it. Not one person in this world has all the tools for every eventuality your mental state's going to come across. And I like to go around looking for new tools to put in my toolbox when I might need it. And if we look at it like that, it does normalise the idea that the brain just needs sometimes a little bit of help, but we can't expect to have all the answers ourselves, and it's okay to ask for support, ask a mate, reach out, and that becomes just the normalisation process of what's going on inside your head.
Prince William there. Well, earlier I spoke to Dr. Lade Smith, President of the Royal College of Psychiatrists. She gave me a breakdown of why we're seeing such an increase in numbers.
Mental illnesses are very common. They affect 1 in 8 of the population worldwide. Over 1 billion people suffer from them. And the difficulty is that although everyone has mental health, some people have mental illness, and it's fantastic to hear the Prince talking about mental health and the importance of learning how to deal with the slings and arrows of life, and how you might build up your ability to cope with that. And that's about mental health and having your toolbox for that. But actually, what we're worried about is those people have mental illness. And in much of the discussion, we often don't hear about those people. And the difficulty is that if you have an illness like bipolar illness or schizophrenia, it can take up to 9 years to get a diagnosis. And in that time, because these conditions affect young people, 75% occur before the age of 24, 50% before the age of 14. And they're conditions that can be effectively treated when they're treated early, so that people don't become adults with chronic, relapsing, remitting illness. And yet less than 1/3 of people who need treatment can get treatment.
And when you distinguish between mental health issues and mental illness, I mean, how much can, a severe condition come from something less severe if the right support isn't in place?
So about 70 to 80% of mental illness is actually driven by social factors. So we know that, for example, financial insecurity, housing insecurity, joblessness, actually, debt, trauma, being abused, adverse life experiences, particularly as a child, being subject to some kind of abuse, increases the likelihood that you'll develop a mental illness when you're older. And so if we can do something to address those issues, then that's likely to reduce the severity, or even in some cases, the onset of certain illnesses. Certainly would reduce the onset of anxiety and depression. It's less likely to impact on more severe mental illnesses like bipolar or schizophrenia. However, it certainly would impact on the outcome of those type of illnesses.
Dr. Lade Smith there, President of the Royal College of Psychiatrists, speaking to me earlier. If you've been affected by any of the issues raised in this story, information and support is on the BBC's Action Line. There's also more on our website on what the Prince of Wales has been talking about to try to understand his own emotions in a very frank conversation, speaking personally. This is BBC News. I'm Geetha Goramoorthy.